Action.
Do you remember when we first met?
I remember so well. I remember Justin and I walking in front of the Mercer. We just came out of the Mercer because we lived there at the time. And you were walking towards us, and of course you knew Justin really well, but you saw me for the first time, and I remember you going, wow, like you do.
I was blown away. And I remember I said, oh my God, you should be a model. And he said to me, never.
Yes,
she's not a model.
Yes, but I was a model already, so he was joking.
I know, but I took it like, hands off. When was the first time we worked? Was it like a year or two?
8 months later. Really.
Do you know what
quickly.
was our first job?
I wonder if I need to thank Justin for provoking you so you can't have her. What do you mean?
Of course I can. Please, I am Mario Testino.
And no, we did Gucci.
That was our first job.
That was our first.
God.
The perfume first.
Because you were like almost naked, no? Or, top. You couldn't see anything.
What's new with you?
I remember you at the Vanity Fair party in Los Angeles. I'll never forget how incredible you looked at that party. And I photographed you there, and I photographed you in lots of different parties. But I'll never forget when we were going to Moscow, and you said to me, seeing as you're coming to work with me for British Vogue, we were going to work with Lucinda, you said, as you're coming, would you mind if we auction you doing a picture of somebody at the party? That I wasn't really aware yet of your project, of Naked Heart Foundation.
Yes, I built my first Playpark in 2006, so it was all quite new and fresh. Yes, I remember very well. And
you had done like a castle of ice, no? Was the party?
Yes, it was a 3-day event, and it culminated at this incredible gala outside of Moscow. If you remember, we all traveled there by train.
By train, I remember I was with the Valentinos in a train. It was so like magical because it was, for starters, going to Russia wasn't an everyday thing, but going almost like with an insider was quite unbelievable. We went also to public baths for men where I photographed you in there.
Banya.
That's the Banya.
That's the Banya. And the Red Square that is now this photograph that is on
with
Instagram.
You
I
on
see
the
it
guys,
all the
no?
time. People absolutely
with all the soldiers holding you.
With the casket.
The first person that got me into thinking of philanthropy or giving was Princess Diana. And when I met her, I was so blown away by her kindness, her softness. And you are probably the second person that gets me interested because you invited me to come back to Moscow to open. It was your first park in Moscow, you remember?
Absolutely, I remember.
And the experience for me was amazing. Well, for starters, I don't know if you remember, we went out the night before till very late because in Russia it's not about like, oh, let's have a little cocktail. It's like, let's drink 18 bottles each.
That was the plan. to make sure you have fun.
I know. So I was already a little bit like this, but when I arrived to that hospital and to the park and saw that it was all children with cancer, because I had this experience that sadly my brother died age 10 of cancer. I was 17 at the time. And because I was young and I couldn't really suffer or mourn the death of my brother, it's something that had stayed deep inside me. And this park brought that back, And I don't know if you remember, I cried, I couldn't even talk. And I was so amazed to see you.
I just thought you were really hungover.
No, I was, but I was so amazed to see that you worked the entire day. People don't realize it, but people in your position, girls like you that are, you've done well, you're beautiful, you've done well in your career, you've got everything. Not many people take their time to go and commit to a cause, I've been very moved by it, and we've just opened the first park in Peru, so I'm particularly proud of the fact that you have made me do something. You remember my speech in Monaco that I said, guys, charity is like exercise. It's hard to get to the gym, but when you go, you love it. You feel amazing.
To be continued.
To be continued.
I look great. I look better than Mario for once?
You're ridiculous. You will never look better than me.